Welcome back to another episode of How's Your Week Been? I am super excited, done a little bit of travelling today. We are in Tring with the marketing maestro, brand builder and all-round nutrition ninja that is the founder and CMO of Huel, Julian Hearn. Julian, great to have you on.
Oh, thank you for coming.
As I ask every guest at the beginning of the podcast, how's your week been?
Oh, it's been very busy. I was up in London yesterday doing an awards dinner, which is a little bit embarrassing. I've never done this before. I had to go up and do a little speech, and then I was the one handing the trophies over and taking the pictures with it. So
wow.
Yeah.
Like doing, like when they bring the Oscars on and people do
it was
present.
Exactly like
you
that.
didn't read the wrong name out or anything, like you didn't do that one.
No, lucky enough.
Anything else you've been up to? What's
What else have I
what's
done
going
this
on in
week?
the business at the minute?
It's just non-stop at the moment. I've had back-to-back meetings all morning, so we're building up for our Jan. Jan's really big time for us.
Okay.
Typically December, people are misbehaving when it comes to nutrition. A lot of mince pies, turkey, and drinking too much. And I think everybody hits sort of Boxing Day and goes, "Oops, what have I done?" And so they start to look for a healthy solution in January. So we do get a big bump in January.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that because you think it's the whole gym, the gym, everyone's subscriptions at the gym kick back in.
Correct. Yeah.
And then by March they're either kicking on still or they're like, oh, no, I haven't been since
or mid-Jan. I don't know whether they last to March. But I think with us, usually what we see is January is a big it's not a spike, it's usually a big step change, and then it carries on throughout the rest of the year. It's not like we just get it and it just peters off. It's literally December, Jan, and then goes again.
But that's just pure, I guess that's purely based on the amount of growth you're having as a business as well.
There is part of that. I think also that we've got a subscription model, so once people like us, they stay on for longer.
Nice.
So we're not positioned ourselves as a weight loss product. We position ourselves as healthy food, healthy convenience food, so that it's not something you take for Jan and give up on. Once you get used to it and you realise that it's a better solution for your lunch, you feel healthier, you feel better, maybe you've lost a few pounds as well, that you carry on for longer. So it's not a spiky product.
No, it's amazing. I think that we're going to go into a bit more of that in terms of the journey. But I mean, interestingly, as the founder of and co-founder of On the Tools, and obviously now we've sort of switched into the branding and agency as Electric House, but still operating On the Tools. Very interesting to find out you were a labourer for 2 years when you first left school.
I did, yeah.
So you went from labouring and then into and then back into university or
Correct.
College, yeah.
Yeah, I worked for 2 years digging holes in the road basically, and it was good working with lads. I like working, it's a good laugh. But I think my girlfriend said to me, she goes, "What are you doing? This is not going to go anywhere." She said, "You're too bright. Why don't you go back to uni?" But even when I went back to uni, I was still working doing timber frame erecting with a different set of lads. So I've always worked.
Always manual.
Yeah,
Historically,
I've done quite a bit of manual labour in my time for sure.
It's interesting when I was reading your story, you write on your website about the fact that you left school with little grades and then went into labouring. And when I went into A levels, just because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then I left A levels with I think 2 E's in a year. And then bizarrely went to uni. You know what I'm going to do? I'm really not very good at this whole education piece, but I'm going to go and carry it on somewhere. Yeah. And then dropped out, and then didn't, and then basically just tried to work and did labouring, did lots of, dug out gardens for conservatories, done, worked in shop fitting, tried to do plastering and loads of different things. But interesting that you, and it's a common thread you often find with founders of, and entrepreneurs and stuff that actually. Education system wise, they're not necessarily grades were never something that was high on the list or that actually people came out with in
Yeah, I agree. I think you see it quite often. People have got really poor grades and go on to do good things.
Yeah.
So don't, if you've got low grades, don't worry about it. But at the same time, I think sometimes the grade is not necessarily a direct reflection of you. It might be your motivation at that particular time.
Yeah.
So when I was at school, I didn't want to be there. I don't think the teachers wanted to be at my school. So nobody got good grades. I didn't know anybody. You see kids now getting 11 A stars. In my day, there was no A stars for starters. There was A's, and I don't think I knew anybody got even an A. So I think that most of it was just you were there and you wanted to get out as soon as possible. So I got 4 C's, and the rest were E's and D's and stuff like that. So no, I didn't get good grades. But once I decided, when I was working as a labourer, I was earning all right money. When I decided to go back to college, I got a distinction at BTEC level, and then I went on to do a degree, and I got a 2-1 because I decided I wanted to do it and I wanted to be there. So I remember when I was at uni, I was 3 years older than everybody else, and there's a lot of people there messing about.
Yeah.
But because I'd given up a salary, I was there to work. I needed that grade. That's what I got back for. It's not like I was just there for the sake of it. I was there because I wanted something. So because I decided I wanted it, I got better grades.
Yeah, the motivation piece and that fulfillment bit it's so important, isn't it? And I think once you've got it, particularly the motivation bit, then you can sort of like power on, can't you? But so talk to us about Huel is a brand that I've seen for a good couple of years now, and a few people in the office are Huelers, or have you got a name? Is there a name?
Hooligans.
Hooligans, of course it's Hooligans. Why did I not get that? Hooligans, love that. Talk to us about how that started, why you got into it. You've had previous businesses, not your first business, Huel, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah, that's right. I sold a previous business. So just to go back, I was after my degree. I got a degree in marketing, so I worked in marketing for 10 plus years. Pretty much like companies like started at MFI. Furniture retailer a long time ago.
You know MFI, right? I'm living in Tamworth.
Right.
Massive warehouse of MFI in Tamworth. There was. I remember it as a kid.
Okay.
Used to throw stones at the side of the house. I was really little, like 6 or 7.
Okay. Starbucks, Tesco's, Waitrose, House of Fraser, companies like that. So I sort of carried on my career in marketing, and then 2008, 2007, me and my wife were trying to have a baby. We tried to have for a number of years, and we'd had a few miscarriages. So I wanted to be at home with her, and I was commuting into London. So what I decided to do was to get out of London. I needed to be working from home. In Aylesbury is not exactly the hotbed of good companies to work for, so I decided I needed to do it myself. And I went to this an affiliate event, and there was some guys there, and they were working from home. So I thought, perfect solution. And I knew they was earning really good money because we were paying them. And spoke to some of these guys and realised they were just the same as like you and I. They were intelligent enough, but they weren't like super intelligent. And just thought, well, if they can do it, why can't I do it? So I spent about next year trying to suss out how to do this in my evenings and weekends. So I'd come in from work, 7 o'clock at night, have a tea, get back on the computer, and learn, practice, learn, and did that for nearly a year until I started earning a little bit of money at it. And I thought, right, I know how to do this now. I need some more time. I said to my wife, right, I need to have a crack at this, but I need to jack my job. I need to go full time at it. So the deal I made with her was I could do this for a maximum of 6 months. In 6 months' time, if I wasn't earning as much as my salary, I'd go back and get a real job. Within 3 months, I was earning more than my salary, and it just went from there. So within 3 years, I built this company from scratch, sold it to an American company for over $10 million, and took a little bit of time out, and because we did have a young child, and then went to work. Then decided I wanted to do something else, and started a company called Body Hack, which is when I was going to do an evidence-based website to test out which meal plans and which exercise programs work. I was the guinea pig for one of them, but in 3 months I'd gone down from 21% body fat down to 11% body fat. So I was 40 years old, and that's just because I weighed all of my food. I knew exactly how many calories I was taking in, how many calories were going out, and that means I was on a 500 calorie deficit per day. Lost a pound every week for 13 weeks in a row, stripped the body fat off, and got a little bit of traction with that business, but the consensus feedback I got from everybody, one of my mates said, I want to do what you did. I told him what I did, and it goes, you mental, there's no way I could do that.
I was about to say, people just like, nah mate, that's just you though. You might find a couple of people, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, exactly, because it was just like, I was cooking all my food from scratch, so breakfast was like 5 egg whites, 30 grams of porridge oats, 20 grams of coconut oil, 20 grams of blueberries or something. And at 11 o'clock, you had to cook an egg and 100 grams of broccoli. And then at 1 o'clock, it was 200 grams of turkey, 50 grams of quinoa, 100 grams of baby spinach, and some olive oil and stuff like that.
I mean, it sounds beautiful, but the commitment is just, it's there, isn't it?
And they goes, no way, I can't do that. So the protein shake I had in the afternoon, I was having that with some rice cakes. Protein shake was super simple. You put some water in it, take a scoop, put it in, put a lid on, shake it, bang, done. And that was the easiest meal out of the whole lot. So it made me think, well, protein you can't live off. You need more nutrients than that. Well, I can't put all the nutrients into the same format as a protein shake, and that's where Huel came from.
It's did you have like so from that point then so you've got this idea, you've already got a current business that you're running and trying to get some traction with. You just can that and go, right,
pretty much,
I've now got to work out what this idea in a bottle is, like what it's containing, like why it contains that, obviously the brand. It seems like you've quite passionate about brand. So was that
correct? Yeah.
Was Huel the first thing? Did you know the name straight away?
No. So once I sort of got the concept in my head, I sort of, you can't get it out of your head. You start thinking about it. Then you start thinking of all the different angles, and you start going. You try and you sort of double guess yourself a little bit. You go, is this a stupid idea or is it not a stupid idea? And you think, no, I can't get it out of my head. You keep thinking, and you think, well, actually. Powder, there's no water, so there's no bacteria, so it's got a year's shelf life, so it's really good, it lasts longer. Then you start thinking, well, actually, we could make it vegan, because at the time I'd seen some videos on YouTube that are quite horrific, when you see like the way animals being treated. I think it was like in a news story where somebody in the abattoir in Turkey, they were hitting flipping cows over the head with sledgehammers or something disgusting. You're just thinking, you don't know where your meat come from, and there'd been these sort of horse crises and stuff like that when we get horse meat. You start thinking, well, why can't we do it vegan? Plant-based is better for the environment, all this sort of stuff. So you start thinking all these other ideas. So I thought more about it. You go on Google, do some research, and I thought, my nutrition knowledge is probably about that much at the time. So I need a nutritionist. You go and find nutritionists. I spoke to a guy in Australia, a guy in America, the founder nutritionist, which we use today, James Collier, was co-founder. I went to see him and said, is this a stupid idea? He went, no. He said, give me a couple of weeks. Paid him some money. 2 weeks later, he came out with the formula for Huel. And I thought, right, we're onto something here. I can make it in my house. I could try it and use it. And I was thinking, this works. I like this. This is good. And then I started thinking, right, brand name. Then I just thought, right, I can do the brand. I could do the copy for the website. I can do the photography. I can get the website up. Because my background was e-commerce and marketing and brand. And all I need is the physical product. I'm making my kitchen, so that's dead easy to do. The name did take a long time. a lot of names to go through. Think of going back to everything from, I don't know, ancient Roman gods through to using every single word for food in different.
Taking the Nike store
exactly.
and things like that. Yeah.
Every language around the world. So you put the word food into it and see what the word comes out with. All these different things. So many different ways of looking at it. And eventually came up with human, it was human food, or fuel, sorry.
Yeah.
Put it together, and there you go. You make a unique word. A unique word's better than a common word, because every time anybody writes that word, it has to be us.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist anywhere else. So those things were sort of fairly easy to do in comparison to actually get the physical product bloody made. That's the thing that took the time. It took probably 18 months nearly to get the thing made.
So early on then, talk me through, you've got this product that you can make in your kitchen. And like early doors. What's that first step of taking a product like this and taking it in and getting someone to go, all right, I'll take 20 and I'll try and sell them somewhere, or I'll take 100 or I'll take 1,000 or whatever. What's that like? Because that's got to be you've got the product, you've got the brand, and then you're like,
well, once we had the product made, my background's e-commerce, so I thought, and my background's retail as well, and I basically know retailers are difficult to work with sometimes. They've got a lot of products in their stores already, they have long lead times, they do range reviews sometimes every 6 months, or even sometimes every year. You have to persuade them, they get people every day trying to sell them new products, and they go, that might not work. Who do they know to believe? There's no data, so it's quite hard to persuade someone. And I thought, why should I do that? I only wanted a lifestyle business, really. I wanted something, I'd already made my money, so I just wanted something I was going to be into. And I just thought of this concept, I think I've talked about it before, but like 1,000 true fans. If you can get 1,000 people to buy 100 quid's worth of stuff from you per year, you've got a £100,000 business. That's a nice little business for people, right? So I would be into it. It'd be something I would personally use myself. I thought, I'm not that different from other people. If I can't find 1,000 people in that, or 64 million people in the UK, I'm doing something wrong. So that was the original sort of concept, and I thought, I don't need a retailer to hit 1,000 people.
So
just sell it direct.
Straight to e-com, straight direct to consumer.
Correct. Yeah.
And you launched. What was the first month like?
Well, I checked the other day, because I actually saw this name. This guy sort of wanted to follow me on LinkedIn. I thought, his name was pretty unusual. I thought, I recognise that name, and it was actually customer number 2.
As if you remember the customer number 2.
The first couple of customers, you do remember.
Yeah.
And I thought, shit. So I actually got in touch with him. I said, you do know that you were number 2? And he goes, no, I didn't realise, but he was number 2. And actually, he bought from us before we even launched, because I'd got the website already, and of course it was live to the world. It wasn't a password protected website, it was live, but nobody knew it existed because I hadn't promoted it or told anybody. I went onto this London startup group on Facebook, and I was just chatting to some people on there, and I was asking a few questions about, I don't know, PR agencies or whatever it was at the time. And some people say, what are you doing? And I said, I'm just about to launch this product. And they said, oh, what is it? And I explained what it was. So I wasn't doing promotionals or trying to like get sales, but people obviously had read it, somebody had interested, they clicked on the link, went through and bought before it even officially launched. So 2 customers before we launched had actually gone through the site. When I was testing it myself, they'd gone through and purchased. So we did get initial traction straight away, probably from that Facebook group. We got sales in the first week, and then just grew from there.
It's, I mean, you know, and then you look at, you know, we're lucky enough to come down today, and there's a big head office in Tring, and you know, reading you've valued at 220 million when that was last year.
Last October, we raised 20
mil.
20 million quid, and that gave us a valuation of 220 million, which is absolutely crazy when you think about it.
How long has the business been running?
At that time, it was just over 4 years. Yeah.
Mental.
How
do you, as a founder of someone who you've obviously set up another business, a media business before, the first stage was a media business, the affiliate one, you're then moving into this like interest that you've got, and you just mentioned then, I just wanted something I was into, or I was happy with something that was like a lifestyle business. Have you at any point got through this and been like, this is actually growing too big for what I actually sort of set out or what I wanted it to be? Not that I don't know whether anyone sets out to be like, I don't want this to be a big business, but equally, and probably I don't want this to be a small one, but I want it to be something for me. Have you ever got to the point where you're like, this isn't actually, this is going too big, the wheels are on?
No, I don't think so. I think I've still got, I gave up the CEO role, but I've still got the majority share of the company, and because I'm CMO and I sit on the board, I'm still heavily involved, so it's still my baby. I think sometimes that may happen if you, I don't want to name names, we were talking about this company the other day, they've taken lots of investment, they're losing money, have to keep more and more investment, so I know the founder's got single-digit share left, so I bet that feels like it's gone from him, he doesn't have any control anymore, and I bet that probably does feel like it's just gone out of control. But for me, because I'm still heavily involved, it's still my baby, and it's a big business. But you know, we've got 100 people worldwide, so it's big, but it's not like massive. So I think it's still, you know, I still know everybody's name. I've still interviewed everybody who's joined. I still induct everybody here. It still feels smallish. I know it sounds a little bit silly in some ways, but it still feels that it hasn't gone. It's not unwieldy, it's still controlled, and everybody's here for a reason. We all know what we're doing, we spend a lot of time together. It still feels like a small little family.
And you just mentioned so you were CEO and you stepped into the CMO role.
Correct.
How was that transition?
Super easy, really.
Really,
CMOs is my bag. So that's what I wanted to do, and what I realised is that it must be nearly 2 years ago now. I realised I haven't done any marketing or branding stuff for nearly a month. And I was just thinking, what the fuck's going on? That's what I'm good at. I haven't even done any of that for nearly a month because I've been doing stuff that I'm not good at. You know, which should be legal, finance, HR, operations, even office stuff. And I just felt like that's illogical to do. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why am I doing stuff that I'm not good at? And that's swallowing up all my time, so I can't do the stuff that I am good at. It didn't seem to make any sense. And thought about it. Luckily, we started a board quite early, and 2 of the guys on the board are non-execs, so they're sort of outside of the company, but in the company at the same time. So they're very sort of impartial and can give really good advice. Spoke to them and said, look, this is not working for me. I don't like what I'm doing, and I'm not doing the stuff that I'm good at. It doesn't make any sense. So we talked about it. And then we just thought, no, that's it. Let's recruit a CEO. And luckily, we went through a process. Again, like I said, I'm involved in all the recruitment. I actually found James via LinkedIn myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I passed him on to a sort of external part-time recruiter that we were using. So can you do the initial outreach to these sort of 3, 4, 5 people? But James was one of the people that I found. And so James McMaster joined as the CEO, and it's been a really good partnership.
Amazing.
Yep.
So what I'm gonna break on quizzing you.
Okay.
On your history of the brand, but I am going to quiz you.
Okay.
Every podcast we have a quiz. I think Jamie went down the route here of we were speaking about this, and Jamie was like, I wanted to do I don't want to do it on food because I sort of don't want to go against the brand of Huel, or, healthy food and stuff. So Jamie's gone down the route of strength.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going on a strength quiz, 5 questions, multiple choice. So don't get too concerned with it. So. And what we do here is we collect Hywb coin. So how's your week been coin? At the end of the series, the winner with the most amount of points at the end of the series will then get a little prize.
Okay,
so
nice.
that's a big thing. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this.
So I'm going to turn my screen away just so you know.
Okay.
Not that I don't trust you.
Did you see me cheating?
Seen you sweating when I said quiz. So number 1, what is the strongest animal relative to its body weight? Right.
I think this is an ant.
Oh, I've got multiple choice for
Oh, right, sorry,
so
I jumped the gun.
I've got A, eagle, B, elephant, C, dung beetle.
Oh, I've got to be dung beetle then, definitely.
He was straight in, he already had the ant, didn't he? So, did you know that a dung beetle can pull
50 times?
1,141 times their own body weight,
Christ.
which is the equivalent of a human pulling 6 double-decker buses. I mean, that's mental, isn't it? Yeah. Get them around the office. Number 2, so a ding on the first one, well done. Number 2, what is the world record weight from a deadlift? Is it A, 6,720 pounds, B, 1,015 pounds, or C, 3,067 pounds?
1,000.
1,015 pounds is correct. I just want to go back to the quizmaster there. The disparity between those is huge, isn't it?
6,000 pounds would be a bit of a job, yeah.
It was a dung beetle. Number 3, what is the strongest muscle in the body? Is it A, the glutes? Is it B, the masseter? Or is it C, the tongue?
Glutes.
It is not.
Tongue.
It is B, the masseter, which is your jaw.
Oh, right.
Your jaw muscle. It's the strongest.
I think it needs to define strongest though.
Yeah, maybe. I love this straight. He's got one question wrong. He's like, hang on a minute, I'm going back on.
Surely, I'm not. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Number 4. Where can you find the smallest muscle? Is it A, the little toe? Is it B, the eyebrow? Or is it C, the ear?
Have you got a muscle in your ear? I suppose some people can wiggle their ears, can't they?
Yeah. I don't know.
Eyebrow must be quite
Anyone
big.
who tries to, just their eyebrows most of the time.
Yeah, your eyebrow moves quite a lot, so you'd think it's got to be a bigger muscle.
I'm trying to do it now.
But you wiggle your ears and your toe. What toe? Big toe, little toe?
Little toe.
Jesus, this is quite tricky, this one. I haven't got a clue.
Well, he's really thinking about it though.
I am thinking about it. I want the prize.
You don't want to lose the points. This is a competitive nature in him. It's really interesting doing quizzes with like founders and like entrepreneurs. None of them want to lose. They're always like...
I'm going to have to go with ear.
And it is the correct answer, yeah. Ear is the right one.
It just moves the least, so it's got to be the smallest.
So number 5, final question. Doing well. 3 out of 4 so far. Number 5, what is the strongest pure metal in the world? Is it A, tungsten, B, chromium, or C, titanium?
Titanium.
Is the wrong answer. It's A, tungsten.
Tungsten.
Yeah,
Okay,
tungsten is the strongest. So 3 out of 5 on the quiz.
Rubbish.
All right. Can giving other points along the way just for random acts of great answers or things like that. Or,
all right.
Good stories.
All right.
You've got to. I was going through through the website and picked out which I like, by the way, and it's something I think something we're going to copy actually.
All right.
You've got that like the founders page on the website. I really like it. It's sort of a real nice way of being able to sort of.
Because I think that was me. I did all that myself.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's good. I like I just think it sort of humanises businesses, doesn't it, quite well, where you can really get an in-depth story of where the founders come from, what they've done, some of the team, things like that. So it was a nice part. But and you wrote on, there's a few things on there that I took from it. And one of them was that you put, ensure you have a powerful and lasting motivator. And I think you sort of come onto this earlier with the whole like uni thing that you went back to uni, but you were actually motivated to be there, which was probably the opposite of what I was actually when I was at uni there, and I was like completely unmotivated and being like, I don't know why I'm here. I left after like about a year and a half. I was just getting letters from the uni being like, where are you? We're going to kick you out, sort of thing. And we're going back to my mum and dad's, and I got that it was the third letter I remember, and I was not the halls. I'd moved out into a house, and I opened it. I thought, this is it. I've just got to go. So I packed all my bags and went home and got the train, and then just rocked up at mum and dad's, and my mum at the door, and I was like, all right. She's like, what are you doing, mate? I'm going to quit. And then she was like, okay, but you can only stay here if you're going to go and get a job tomorrow morning. Yeah. And if you don't, then you can't. And I was like, yeah, okay, sweet. So I only got 3 jobs the next week, that whole week, and I was like 3 bar jobs, like doing what I could. But startups are hard. They take a lot of toll on your health, your friendships, your relationships. So if you don't have a burning motivator inside, you'll struggle to last the distance. Yeah. Big thing for me, health, friendships, relationships. I don't think anyone realises how much it cuts through your just average life. Yeah. So I've before I started on the tools and electric house, I've not ran a business before. It's the first business I've operated. I've had loads of different. Like me and Ad always joke that we're like Belvoir and Rodney. That we've grown. Me and Ad went to school with each other. We're sort of like old school. Best friends, been on holiday, family holidays and all that. We'd always have ideas of doing different things, but this is the first business we've operated that has actually become a business. Yeah. But if someone had said to me about the sort of the trials and that you go through when you're doing it and the effects it has on, I think the health bit is, and I've probably noticed that over the past year, probably the past 12 months, the health part of like being unwell and like just being like, not necessarily mentally, I don't think, but health-wise, just to have working too much and not realising that I'm working too much, and you can't see it. It's always there. It's always working.
Yeah, it's a little bit gradual. I suppose it can creep up on you. It's like say you do a really physical, I don't know, say you did a marathon, you can feel it that particular day. Yeah. Sometimes your body gets a little bit used to it. So say you're working all the time. Yeah. Eventually, it will just hit you, and you sort of, running a marathon, you hit the wall. It's a little bit like that you sort of. You're doing okay, and then suddenly it's on top of you, and you sort of, because you have to keep pushing through, that day you get up and go again and go again and go again, and then that's going to wear you even down even more. So there was a point, I don't know when it was, 2 years in, something like that, where some days I'd wake up in the morning, could make it downstairs to the sofa, and didn't want to go into work, and that was not me. So I definitely felt it at that sort of time that something different was happening, and at that time I had to take it back. Dial it back a step a little bit.
What do you do? What does that mean when you dial it back? What's it? What's the within the detail you want to give? But what does it actually mean when because as a founder, you at this point you're still CEO and business is growing at a ridiculous rate. Yeah. How do you dial back without? I guess the team's going to be good, in terms of having the team, the right team around you to be able to dial back. But
I think part of it was you got to recruit more people.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're doing too much. I think I was sort of compensating sometimes that I was still going to the gym a fair bit. So I was still trying to do everything. Yeah. So I was still, I was getting up in the morning early, going to the gym, doing a hard session, doing a day's work, and then working early evenings. And then sometimes, because you've done all of that, you feel like you're owed something to yourself, so you have a bit of fun. So you might go around a friend's house, you drink a bit too much, you stay out a bit too late, get up in the morning and do it again. Yeah. And of course, you're trying to do everything. You're starting to keep your relationships going, you're trying to keep your friendships going, you're trying to keep the business going, you're trying to keep your fitness level up, you're trying to do everything. And at some point, something's got to break, something's got to give. And so that's why there's consequences to all of it if you're not careful.
Yeah. It's a really hard balance. I think people. I had someone said to me the other day. I was talking to someone. That guy earlier I was talking about the School of Code in Birmingham, and he said if someone asked me whether there should be an entrepreneur, I'd always tell them don't ever go near it. Don't ever do it. He said because. I know I'm not putting them off. He said because if that person then listens to me and doesn't do it, he said, then they're not an entrepreneur anyway, and they won't do it. They won't have the minerals to last it. He said because the bits you go through that people don't see is the bit that no one really talks about, or no one really, it's not. And I think there's an ideology as well, or an idea behind the whole thing that it's really glamorous. Yeah. And like 99% of the time,
It's not.
It's not, is it?
No.
You go into work like everyone else, you know,
It is,
and you're dealing with all the bits and pieces that everyone else is dealing with.
Yeah, it's a job. It's just a very long job.
Yeah.
It's a very rewarding job if you get it right.
Yeah, of course.
It can be. I suppose for a lot of people, it doesn't go right. And so, I was talking to a guy last night. He's not paid himself for 3 years. I didn't pay myself for the first 3 years. Luckily, I had money behind me, so it didn't matter. I had money in the bank. This guy hasn't, and he hasn't paid himself for 3 years. I was at an award dinner last night, so he was, I don't know what he was, 25, 30, something like that. So he hasn't got money behind him. This is his first business, and he hasn't paid himself for 3 years, and he's grafting. And you just think, well, and that business, by the sounds of it, what he was telling me last night, might not ever turn into anything. So he's put 3 years of his life into it, not paid himself, and might walk away with zero.
It's really hard, isn't it? And how do you, can you tell people to stop? And how do you know when to stop as well? I guess, well, at that point, if you run out of money, then and you're putting your own life in there.
I think I usually, it's quite difficult, but yeah, you should never give up. But at the same time, you should give up really fast. There's both, you need to think about both angles. I think sometimes there's something that you have to keep pushing through and go through, so that's never give up. But sometimes you've got to pull the plug as quick as you can, because they talk about fail fast. You want to learn really quickly if something's going somewhere. And so I hear stories, again, I was talking to some people last night, they've been chugging along with the business for quite a number of years. And is it going to go anywhere? I'm not sure by what I heard. And they've been at it nearly 7 years now in total. They've made a little bit of money, but my first business I built and sold in 3 years. That then gave me money to then do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
And that was really good. If I was still in that business now, that business sort of went up and went back down again. I think it's not so profitable now. So I'm glad I got out at the right time.
Good work.
Right? But if you stick around too long, then that second business that Huel span out of, I put 80 grand, 100 grand into building that business up. He got some initial traction, but never paid his money back. So it lost all that money really. But luckily, as soon as I saw Huel has got better potential, I got out straight away. So I gave up on that company. So this is this sort of tension between never give up, but give up fast.
But interestingly, on that one, you wouldn't have maybe come up with the idea for Huel if you weren't doing that anyway, because the consensus was actually feedback on your original business.
It was an iteration on that business. Really. Yeah.
So it's sort of it's the byproduct of what that was.
Correct.
And something else that you mentioned on there is about the whole strong culture bit. So you've got it seems like you're heavy on brand.
Yep.
Most people that are heavy on brand are heavy on culture.
Yep.
I think there's quite a strong link behind the ethos of how that runs through and the people you have within it and things like that. How you had any massive issues with trying to keep that culture that you built?
No.
Because with businesses that have got strong culture will start from that bit where we were talking about earlier, where it's that it just feels like a family. You go because you're all doing all the different pieces that need doing, and it's exciting when you got growing, you're selling loads of product. You're all having to get in and pack things and do all that bit, and then you get to a point now where you're 100 worldwide.
Yep.
Has anything changed? Do you have any problems with how do you keep on top of it? How do you make sure that culture drives through?
Okay, so three things. I think you write it down so it's clear. So if I get run over by a bus, my thoughts are still down on paper. So the culture should last. So writing it down is key. I wrote down I wrote down rules of the game quite early. Had it up on the wall. Even as 3 people in an office, I had written it down that early. It's changed a little bit in terms of the wording, but the gist of it's still there. And so writing it down, number one, you recruit the first. The recruitment is the key. Is that if you let a bad apple into the business, that one bad apple, with like a rotten apple, it can spread to other places. So if you recruit the right people, you should never get the bad apple in there in the first place. But if you do, they need to leave quite quickly if you've made a mistake. So recruitment is really key. And I still recruit. I'm still involved in all the recruitment. So the way it works here is that the line manager recruits for the skills and expertise that they need. So let's just take designer as an example. They will pick the best designer for their role. But they then need to come to me. So I do effectively a culture interview. Only 15 minutes, doesn't have to be a lot. So I just sit down with them 15 minutes. I can tell whether they're the right fit for Huel. And then as a backup to that, so I can veto that. So even if they're the best designer in the world, I can say, no, I don't think they're going to fit here. So they don't join. Then to back up to that, we have 2 of our old school hooligans here that sort of know the culture really well from a different team. So they're not looking at expertise or skills, they're just purely looking at fit. And again, they are allowed, short 15, 20 minute interview. they again have got a veto. They can say no, this person's not joining. So we have those sort of backups to ensure that the right people join. And then once they're in, I induct everybody. And again, in only half an hour, I go through the DNA of the company, the way I want the company to be, and also how I expect all of our hooligans to behave. And I just go through those 2 sections which are written down. I talk them through it from the horse's mouth, and then that seems to work.
How often do you disagree with the team?
Disagree with the team
in terms from a recruitment perspective. So they've got like their perfect designer,
right?
And then it comes into you like, nah.
Very, very rarely.
Yeah.
I think because we've all come from the same gone through the same process, we all sort of know what other people will expect, and it's been very rare. I have said it. I said no, I don't think that person's right. I have said it. Has the culture fit team said it? I'm not quite sure, but yeah, it's a double check just to keep everybody in line. Yeah. And it makes people themselves, the line manager, think about who they're recruiting, because they don't want to put the wrong person in front of me or through the culture fit team.
Yeah, no, it's and really interesting that you still as a CMO and founder of a company that's 100 deep now, that you still do that.
I was talking to somebody the other day. I think they're involved somewhere. I think it was Airbnb, and I think their founders got up to 1,500. They were still doing it.
That is, but there's
this
something in that, isn't there?
Yeah, this is an important thing. So a company is no more than a group of people and a product probably, or a mission or a goal, and it's the group of people that make it happen. So if you've got the wrong group of people, you probably won't ever overachieve on what you could be. So it is vitally important to get it right. And you can argue that I should be in a meeting talking about, I don't know, higher level stuff, but I still think that the team is so important. I've got to work with these people anyway, so I want to make sure.
Well, yeah, that's it.
I want to make sure they're people I want to work with.
It's macro and micro, isn't it? I think there's always elements of a founder's role where you end up doing both. That you'll do both ends.
Yeah, sorry. The other thing we do, we've never really, pretty much we've never used recruitment consultants. We have used some freelance people occasionally. But from quite an early day, we had an internal recruiter. Now we've got 2 full-time internal recruiters. So again, they're immersed in the brand and the culture, so they know exactly. So when they're recruiting, it's not like some external person you need to brief and they're picking somebody off a list somewhere. They pretty much know what we expect and what we want here. So that has been a very good choice from an early stage as well.
Yeah, and I guess they're in it, they get it, they get the feel, they get the fit. So yeah. Have you struggled with recruitment? Because obviously a company that grows at that rate in an area that isn't London or a city and things like that, we felt it in Tamworth. We're like north of Birmingham. We're in an old mining town, and we're an odd, weird growing media company in a town that is mainly built of industrial.
Yeah, sure. I mean, in general, not really. We're not that far away from London. Yeah. And a lot of people who work in London don't live in London. So we can sort of cherry pick all those people off around from the outside of London and say, well, look, would you rather work here or would you rather commute for an hour and a half into London? It's quite an easy. We had a share options scheme from a very early stage as well. So everybody in the business has got share options. So you've all got sort of, you've got an upside. So there's another reason to come and join us.
Yeah.
And occasionally we've had certain rare skills that have been more difficult to recruit. So we had to create satellite offices. We was just talking earlier about Birmingham. Developers are quite a rare resource at the moment. They're quite in demand. And for some reason there's a hotbed in Birmingham. So the guy that we found, we really wanted him to stay. And so we created a satellite office for him. And now he's got a team of 7 developers up with him in Birmingham. And the guy we found for our performance marketing team was in London, and he was South London, so it was too far for him to commute, so we created a satellite office in London for him. And satellite offices are problematic in terms of they feel a little bit out of touch, sometimes communication is not as good, but all of our meeting rooms have got Zoom in, so we can have, I just had a meeting with the London team just before this, so you can do it. It's not quite as good as if they're sat next to you, but the compromise is that we had to recruit people that weren't as good. So yes, that's why we've got those 2 satellite offices.
Yeah, it's really interesting having to, in the scale of recruitment and tech and things like that, how businesses manage that. I wanted to go on to the product a little bit, if I can. So I seen when I'm pointing over. I might as well point your one you've got on your the instant ready-made. Drink.
Yep.
Call it a drink.
Right. Yeah. Drink. Yep.
Yeah. how has that been for the business? You know, has it been a bit of a step change? Because obviously you've gone from this the powder into now the ready made.
Yep.
Big thing, I guess, for the business, and how's it gone?
So it's our second biggest seller. Our powder's still majority by quite a long way. The powder's superior in some ways. In terms of nutritionals, is very good. In terms of environmental credentials, is very good. In terms of cost, it's lower cost as well. But for powder, it is it's more alien for some people, that you need to then get some water, add powder to it, shake it up. It's quite a thick texture for some people and quite bitty for some people. So powder, I use powder twice a day during the working week. I like it a lot. But the ready-made drink gives us a different audience. So say I was going on the train to London, I won't want to take one of our shakers and some water and powder and mix it up on a train. This one's grab and go. The other thing that allows us to do is go into retail. Like, we can't really sell powder in retail. There's no benefit really. We can send you powder to your house free of charge next day. But if you want to grab and go something for lunch or on your way to work from a petrol station or something like that, this product will open that market up to us. We recently launched in Sainsbury's with the RTD.
Amazing.
Ready to drink. And we think that that will do really well. We've already beaten the targets they've given us. So it's going well. And it's even the channels for brand awareness, because the bottle is very clean, simple, minimal, stands out really well on shelf. It's quite tall, it's quite elegant. So again, it's good for brand awareness, and we do believe that retail is going to be a big channel for us. Direct to consumer is still going to be where our heart is, but retail will another string to our bow. And
I'm asking this to myself as well, but I mean, this is a bit me. So like, if I've got power and it's just not going to happen. For whatever reason, maybe I'm just lazy in my food prep. I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the difference between what you're ready-made ones and the powder, are people, can they switch out for each one, or is the powder still actually more beneficial from a nutrition point of view? And
it's still, both products have got all the essential nutrients in. So the core to us is that we're complete nutrition. So we've got all 26 essential vitamins and minerals. We've got all the essential fats, all the essential protein you need. It's got fibre, phytonutrients, and some carbs as well. And all products are exactly the same. They've got those core 7 things. And the slight difference between the two is that there's more micro differences. But the powder is superior in terms of nutrition, but they're pretty close. So this product is a really good product, and in terms of the consuming of it, of course it's much simpler. You just crack the lid and off you go. In terms of the texture, this is very smooth. This is more like even though this is a vegan product, it is more like a traditional milkshake that you would have.
Yeah.
It's thick, it's super pleasant. It is a good product, and you could walk up to anybody on the street, give them one of those, and they go, yeah, that's really good, and it's really healthy for you. And that's one of our keys, that we are a nutrition first company, but taste is a close second, because we are aware that we all like taste.
Yeah, and I think even more so with like a ready-made product, the taste has got to be that.
It's got to be good.
It's got to be the driver.
Especially just grabbing it in retail, you don't know what it is, and then when people spin it around and go, "Well, shit, it's got all that stuff in it as well." That's really good.
Yeah. Whereas if the taste is something that's not up to scratch, then straight away you've lost that audience, that convenience, or that something. What does the founder of Huel? What does the man eat? He's got a product that he could just have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with. But you're obviously a healthy guy. You go to the gym. You've got to be obsessed with nutrition in order to run this, and found this business. What's it look like? Okay, so for me, it's pretty simple. Monday to Friday, breakfast and lunch, Huel powder pretty much. Sometimes, like today, I've literally come into here. I didn't have any powder near me, so I just grabbed one of these to come in here. So I've just had one of those. But breakfast and lunch will be Huel powder. And then we've got Huel bars as well. So sometimes in the afternoon, if I want a snack, I'd have a Huel bar. So that's because it's all in the office. There's no catering around here. I don't want to bring nothing into work. So that's me. And then when I get home in the evening, I will have a traditional meal, family meal with me and my son. So that would probably look like, I don't know, could be veg and salmon, or some veg. I like a big plate full of veg because it fills you up.
So I like a lot of veg. It'll be sometimes, you know, chicken or salmon or a vegan dish. I'm not a vegan myself, but I believe we should eat more plant-based. And in the weekends, it could be anything, but typically it's going to be out with friends and family. So it's going to be restaurants or even takeaway, stuff like that. So the weekends don't have Huel at all really. So, but those 10 meals a week that I have, that's nearly 50% of my meals, which are 100% plant-based.
Yeah.
So without even trying, I'm doing good for the planet, because I think we're all aware that plant-based food is way better for the planet than livestock production, which is quite damaging to the planet in terms of carbon emissions, etc.
Yeah.
And so it makes me feel good as well. And I know I'm getting all my essential nutrients. I was joking yesterday that I haven't had a cold. I know it sounds a little bit silly, but I haven't had a cold in like 4.5 years.
You look like a superhuman.
Well, it's just I don't know whether it's the nutrition or what. I don't know. I've not had time to have a cold. I don't know what it is. I've not had one. But actually, last week I went away to America and I got a cold, and it's the first one I've had in 4.5 years. And I didn't have Huel with me. I was thinking,
oh really?
I don't know what happened. Maybe they got stronger colds out in America. Can I pick one up out there? I don't know what happened.
The airplane, and that's what people always say.
Maybe.
The air
I don't know what happened.
How does you talk about the product there and how nice it looks and the branding and everything like that? But,
yeah.
From a media, you know, I'm very much involved in media and got a passion for it, and
yep.
Particularly video and stuff. What's the play with Huel in terms of its? And you mentioned it earlier that you actually were in a role and I haven't done any marketing for like a month.
Yeah.
What's the biggest driver from as a CMO
yeah.
now? What's the biggest driver from your from your media and your marketing efforts?
Okay, so for me, I think I actually did this at the board last month. We're trying to, like, too often people confuse marketing with advertising.
Yeah.
Advertising is one part of marketing. And in the perfect world, if you get your marketing right, you shouldn't have to spend any money on advertising.
Yeah.
Because if you sell a product to somebody and you make them happy, which I believe that's the sole purpose of marketing, is to make people happy. So if you can make the customer happy, they will rebuy from you and they will tell their friends. So you don't have to spend the money on advertising once you've got the ball rolling. So I focus on everything around that. It's like if the product, I don't know, everything from it doesn't open properly, like our pouches, if they don't open properly, that's a bad customer experience, fix that. If the deliveries are late, that's a bad customer experience, fix that. So it's all about if it doesn't taste right, if the texture's not right. So I get involved in new product development, the packaging, the logistics, the website, the first experience. Yes, we do advertising, but it's all of that stuff, but it's all around customer experience and whether the person's, we've got a really big, well-spec'd customer service team. Traditionally, customer service is, I've worked at quite a few places where it's the unloved team.
Yeah.
They're in a dark corner somewhere, they're the cheapest resource, low quality, and and therefore they're not giving great experience. I sort of look up to the likes of John Lewis. You go into a John Lewis store, you feel really good level of customer service. Why? Because they're all partners, they're all sharing the business profits. Well, everybody shares in the same profits here, or the shares of the business. So it's all of that as one, and marketing and advertising therefore is a small part of it, but really that's why I focus on the whole thing. So it's everything, it's the attention to detail which makes the difference between being an average brand and a market leader.
Yeah. How does that affect the future then for what are the plans for Huel? You've obviously had a big old 4 years
to
where you are now. What are the next steps? What's the next big thing?
So we've got some new exciting.
Any secrets you can?
We've got some exciting products coming.
Yeah.
So I don't know when this is getting broadcast.
27th
of this month.
Yes.
So so when this goes out,
or later if needs be.
When this goes out, we would have just about launched a new revision of our bar. So that's come with a new wrapper as well. So the packaging has been improved. We've taken the bar size down from 250 calories down to 200, so it's slightly more snackable. So we've got 400 calories a meal, 200 calories for a snack. It's much more chewy and more, still got all the same nutritional profile, but it's more chewy. We've got chocolate chips in there now. We've got new flavours coming out. Just the whole thing's been improved in terms of the bar. and we've got some new exciting stuff coming in terms of powder coming, and some other new stuff coming in the next sort of few months. And it's just making everything better. The example I usually give is Google first Apple computer, and look where they are today. And I think we're on the same sort of path. If you go into our reception, there's our original Huel powder in there. I think we've done 7 revisions of that. We're on version 2.4 at the moment, so we've done 7 different improvements to Huel over the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And we've got more coming. So each one of those, we've improved we've improved some of the vitamins and minerals. We made it more natural. We've improved the taste and texture, improved the flavours, going on natural in flavours, all these types of things. So it's just all improvement, iterate. I think a lot of companies, they just make something once, stick on a shelf, leave it, just forget about it. That's not good enough for what we do here. It's everything we do, from the t-shirt to the box. We're just improving the delivery boxes going out in. We've just switched to a new delivery service to improve all these things. All about customer experience, all about improving stuff, just making things better.
How important is it? Because when I first seen Huel as a brand, first thing I thought of was like, oh, they're trying to save people time. Yeah, which I think is a big, particularly when you look at, well, like loads of particularly tech-based businesses now, and like your Uber, your Airbnb, it's all like a time thing as well as being a great product or business. But it feels like that the brand is moving across into not only, obviously the time thing is still by bringing out convenience, more retail-led products, and I guess is with the bar as well. That's another time thing of like, okay, brilliant, I'm on the go.
Yep.
But it feels like the brand isn't just about, and without offending you and saying, you was only bothered about people's time when you first launched, but it feels like the brand has moved into this thing about, it's not just about saving, it's not just about convenience, it's about the quality of the product, the packaging, the service. I think it's great that businesses are now really focusing back on that customer service piece. Do you feel like the brand has sort of like grown up and covers more things? There's more things that are important than just about like, actually you can be nutritious on the go.
Yeah, I think we've always been that way. It's just it takes time to get to where you want to get to. I think we know what looks good and what we need to fix, because I think one of the things that other entrepreneurs I would suggest is you definitely be one of your customers. If you're the customer of the product, I use the product all the time. I know what pisses me off. I know what's not good enough. I know what I want to fix, but sometimes it might take you a year, 2 years to fix it. It takes a long time. So there is that constant improvement in mind. And we are more than just a convenient product. We've got a mission statement, which I don't know if you can see on the camera, but it's nutrition complete food, convenient, affordable food with minimal impact on the environment and animals. So there's all of that we bring into it as well, and we think our heart's in the right place, and we're more than that. We've got this big community of Hooligans now, and there's lots of places we can go and improve stuff, and we want to make the world a better place. We want to do that with everything we do. So we're always looking for different ways. Like we just designed our new box, and so that's going to be ink on the outside, will be water-based rather than oil-based ink. All those little things that can make a difference. And we just want the world to be a better place, and one of those is by going more plant-based.
I love it. I think it's an amazing brand, and I'm a big lover of brand, and I love the way the brand looks. I think it's one of the early things that was nailed with it, as obviously amongst other and lots of other things. But can't wait to see everything that happens with the brand in the future. Pleasure meeting you. Great to hear that the founder's a hooligan as well, and he's not just eating like steak and chips or whatever, loves a McDonald's or whatever. But I think it's an amazing business, amazing story, and been a pleasure. And everyone who's listening, please subscribe and like and share the podcast as much as possible. Let's get these hooligans listening to the founder and how he grew the business. Absolute pleasure, and listening next time, guys.
Lovely. Thank you very much.